Has Mark Zuckerberg seen the light?
What?
Has he been red-pilled?
What?
Zuckerberg, the head of Meta,
Okay.
says things they are changing at Facebook, Threads, and Instagram
What?
regarding misinformation, disinformation, and fact-checking.
Total bullshit.
I'm Jazz Berganzo on this. Do I buy it?
Well.
Is it legit?
Yeah.
Well,
Stop it! Please!
it's what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jazz Berganzo. What's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Well, seems something new is always popping up. You know, like weeds. They're always popping up and you can never seem to get rid of them. But with this is an interesting weed. Meta, Zuckerberg, Facebook, Threads, Instagram. They are things, or should I say, things they are changing? Mark Zuckerberg came out with a video yesterday saying things are changing regarding how they fact check regarding misinformation and disinformation and what he intends to do about it. Very, very interesting. Do I buy it? Like I said in my intro, is it legit? Well, we're going to find out now, aren't we? And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Zuckerberg promises less censorship on Facebook as he scraps biased third-party fact checkers. Yes, those wonderful fact checkers at Facebook. Yeah, I've had my run-ins with them over the years. Mark Zuckerberg has announced major changes to Meta's content moderation policies and practices on Facebook, Instagram, citing the desire to embrace free speech, avoid censorship. Zuckerberg's changes begin with scrapping Facebook third-party fact-check system, which is notorious for leftist bias. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, is undergoing major overhaul in its content moderation practices. CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced yesterday that the company will end its fact-checking program. What? Say it isn't so. Plagued by several leftist bias, and replace it with a community-driven system similar to X's community notes. The changes come in response to what Zuckerberg perceives as a cultural tipping point, of course, in relations to Trump, towards prioritizing speech influenced by the recent elections. Here it is right there, and we'll play the video and then my thoughts. In a press release, Joe Kaplan, Meta's chief global affairs officer, stated, Meta's platforms are built to be places where people can express themselves freely. That can be messy. Are on platforms where billions of people have a voice. All the good, bad, and ugly is on display, but that's free expression. Yes, remember we used to have that? Remember Facebook first started that? You know, everybody could say pretty much whatever you want outside of course, derogatory situations and language or what have you. And it would be addressed. Now it's just like, hey, you know what? About the coof and the magical vax? Oh, I'm banned. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Facebook. Kaplan highlighted Zuckerberg's 2019 speech at Georgetown University, where he argued that free expressions have been the driving force behind progress in American society and around the world. Some people believe giving more people a voice is driving division rather than bringing us together. More people across the spectrum believe that achieving the political outcomes they think matter is more important than every person having a voice. I think that's dangerous, Zuckerberg said at the time. Kaplan acknowledged that the Meta has developed complex systems to manage content in recent years, partly in response to societal and political pressure. However, he admitted that this approach has gone too far. As well-intentioned as many of these efforts have been, they have expanded over the point where we're making too many mistakes, frustrating our users, and often getting in the way of free expression we set out to enable. Too much harmless content has been censored. Too many people find themselves wrongly locked up in Facebook jail. Yes. Right here. And we are often too slow to respond when they do, he said. Under the new approach, Meta will eliminate some content policies around hot-button issues such as immigration and gender, and refocuses automated moderation processes on high-severity violations. The company will rely more on users to report other violations. Additionally, Facebook Trust and Safety Content Moderation Team will be moving from California to Texas.
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. a lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed, so we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
Very interesting video from Zuck. He comes out, He's got the nice, he's got the nice curly locks going, t-shirt. He's just relaxing, chillaxing, and says, hey, you know what? Things, they are changing at Facebook, at Meta, and here's why. But how much pressure was there against Zuckerberg to do something like this? How much pressure was there from the Trump administration or the incoming Trump administration to make him change his ways, to see the light and taste the red pill? Now remember, Facebook donated a lot of green to dementia during the last 4 years and prior to the election in 20. So does a tiger change its stripes? Does a leopard change its spots? We're going to find out. Now, aren't we? With that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.